everybody. My name's Ampro, and this is Tyrant.
Hello.
He's substituting for Noah Dynai and Nuke. Today we're joined by Enrico, owner of PvP tier list and in general nice guy. Hello, Enrico.
Hey guys, nice to be on.
hmm
Alright, let's get on to the questions. So, why did you start the entire tier list as a whole?
So I started the tier list because when I first started playing, I wasn't very good, to be frank with you, when I first started playing, and I noticed that there was no competitive synchronization in the sort of newer versions of the game. So obviously 1.7, 1.8, you had like competitive servers, ELOs, all these big kind of organized systems to see who was better, who was worse. And it was just overall very competitive. It was all over YouTube. But, if you look back at around 2017, 1.9 had just come out and it was just slowly becoming popular. Most people hated it. And when I started playing that version of the game, there was no competitive scene. No one cared about 1.9. There was no best player officially. There was no competitive server. So I was like, okay, we need a way to actually see who's better, who's worse. And that's why I kind of thought the idea of the tier list. This was around 2018, like 2017, 2018. And the other reason I started it is because I like to make projects around everything I do. Like just everything, literally everything. If it's eating, then I stick to a diet, a regimen. If it's Minecraft, I'm going to make a tier list, make a clan. Like I like making projects around things. I don't really just like doing them passively. So even though I was kind of irrelevant, I didn't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? I just was like, fuck it, we're making this document. I'm going to start taking over the community. And yeah, that was the kind of thought process behind it.
Cool. So when you came out with this at first, how did people react? Were people like cool with it, or?
No, everyone. You know what it was? I'm in the sword community. Anyone that knows me and used to play back in the day knows that I was one of the most polarizing figures, because a lot of people said, "Oh, it's just toxic. It just makes the game like frustrating and toxic and cancerous." And then there's the other aspect of people that didn't like it that said, "Oh, you're just some like tier 3, tier 4, like average player, ranking people from best to worst. Like, what do you know? You're some naive fucking idiot." So there's a lot of criticism, but because if you think about it, you're the guy that's essentially deciding people's fate on the community and how they're judged skill level wise. This is before we had like a proper testing system. This was just me like ranking players. So people were pissed. But then I also had a decent amount of support because people understood that 1.9 is never going to take off as a game mode if there isn't any competitive like edge to it or a competitive scene. It's never going to take off on YouTube. It's never going to take off on anything. So it was very divisive at the start. But I knew that that's how you grow, right? Controversy sells. The more you're polarizing, the more people are going to talk about you, the more it's going to circulate, even if it's negative, right? All publicity is good publicity in that sense. So people are like, "Oh, there's this dickhead that thinks he can make a tier list. Great, better join the server, mate. Come take a look." You know what I mean? And then it just grew and grew and grew.
Yeah. When you created it, did you expect it to go far?
Yes, 100%. Because everything I do, I won't stop until it's good. Like I don't dabble in things. Like, I don't play any other games. I don't do anything. Like if I do something, I will do it until it's like at the height of what you can do in that space. So I knew as soon as I made it, I'm not going to stop. Even if it takes 3 years, 4 years, I'll just keep doing it. I don't care what anyone says. So I had no doubt in my mind that was going to happen.
What was the sort of history behind your username? I'm curious. What kind of...
The history behind my username. So the thing is, right, when I was much younger, and even to this day, I was very involved in Telegram communities, a lot of which are kind of geopolitically oriented, a lot of which are quite extreme. Not because I was radicalized myself, but just because it was just these schizo Telegram communities. And through that, I was just exposed to all sorts of stuff. Even though I was reading stuff about jihadists, esoteric Nazis, just all sorts of crazy schizo shit. when I was like 11, right? So then I
Oh.
just decided to name my Minecraft character after the founder of ISIS and Patrick Star blended into one name.
Oh.
Was that a good decision? Maybe not, but it stuck. And something I understood very early on when I was younger is you should never change alias because your alias is your brand. At that, like, obviously I had to change it eventually, but like within that time period, you should never change it because once you have a brand, you have a face. I never changed my Discord profile picture either. Everyone knows me as having this, Big Nasty, yeah? That used to be my profile picture when I was younger and playing Minecraft. I never changed it. Never changed my IGN. Never changed my Discord PFP because I understood that you have to keep like a sort of brand to like, even though I wasn't an influencer or whatever, I understood that. So once I chose a terrible name, I just never changed it, and yeah, that was the situation.
Keep an image.
Exactly.
Yeah. Um, what got you like into the sort of Minecraft scene and like
Um,
PvP in general?
it's quite interesting actually. Most people like they played when they're younger, and then they got back into the competitive scene. I was actually a little different. I got into Minecraft properly when I was like 14,
Oh.
which is a bit older than most people. And I never played any games really much when I was younger. And I actually got into it, right, because I got like, it's quite a funny story actually. I got sent to this like youth, like, not like a detention, but just like a sort of youth like help direction bullshit thing, yeah. And like this was when I was like 13 or something, and they were just like, yeah, instead of like doing some school activities, just go on a computer and do this and that. And they and when we were just messing around on those computers, I got on Minecraft. It's just like almost a joke, and I was just messing around, and I went on a survival server, and I realized it was kind of competitive,
Mhm.
and I started playing survival, and I just went home and started playing it and stuff, and then it just got more and more competitive, and then I went from survival, like old school vanilla, to like sword PvP, and then just started trying like all the game modes. I even played competitive factions for a bit, like
Oh.
1.8. Yeah, I played like Archon, Vanity. I won a few maps on that, lost a few maps.
Mhm.
I was a faction leader on that as well, but I just started playing everything. But I liked how competitive it was. It really gripped me. I like the idea that there's like a community and there's like everyone knows everyone. Like it just reminded me of like real life almost. So like, I don't know, it just drew me in. But I was never like a Minecraft player when I was like much younger. It just sort of happened. It was a bit of a weird one.
Have you ever tried like, I don't know, like getting someone to like start content creation because of like PvP and
Uh, yeah, there's a few people. I'd say a lot of people know Marlo. I wouldn't say I necessarily like. I'm not. I'm definitely not the sole reason she made a YouTube channel, but I think when I explained to her the idea that whenever you do something, you should do it as a project, no matter what it is, whether it's Minecraft, whether it's food, whether it's gym, business, just anything, it should always be a project vision. So I said, look, if you're going to play Minecraft, don't just play the game. Like, try and be the best at it. Make content around it, make a clan, make a blog, whatever it is. And then I think, a couple of months later from that, she started a YouTube channel. And now she's fairly popular. Um,
Mhm.
I also played with Vexai a little bit when he was first starting out. Um, yeah, there's quite a few guys that I've probably influenced sort of indirectly. But Marlo's the only one that I would say that I really kind of directly influenced to start some content creation.
yeah.
It baffles me why people wouldn't content create right now. To be honest, it's literally it's such a milkable niche on YouTube right now, and there's so many content hacks you can do. I don't understand why someone would play Minecraft right now competitively and seriously and spend a lot of time on it and not try and be a content creator. It generally blows my mind. Unless you're doing something else, which is fair enough. But it's a perfect atmosphere to do that right now. So it makes a lot of sense.
Especially with the like growing popularity as well.
Oh yeah, I mean shorts and just the whole format of content, and then all the traffic from the likes of Dream and Technoblade and all those kind of guys. It all just sort of happened pretty fast. But it's interesting because when I first started playing 1.9, it was extremely niche. And on YouTube, I swear to God, you could not find a trace of 1.9. The only YouTuber was a guy called Laid to Fall, who was maybe, I think he was like 20k subscribers or something. And that was like massive. That was like ridiculous numbers at the time. Whereas now, that's just like, that's not even that deep. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's all kind of blown up, so.
Nowadays, it's easy for a guy with 137 to talk to a guy with 132,000.
Yeah.
Tarot. I mean, what?
Yo.
Do you have any questions, Tarot? I feel like I'm pioneering this.
Let me see. I mean, it's a funny question. Have you ever have you ever met Dr. Donut?
Oh dear.
No, I haven't. I've never spoke to him. I don't
Mhm.
really know the guy. Like, I've
Gotcha.
seen his face, and like Marlo's told me about him.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, he waffles a lot, I guess. I don't really know.
Yeah, he's like a big face of the crystal community, or even like just PvP community in general right now.
Yeah, I know Marlo and It's Real Me have told me some stuff about him, like playing with him and stuff.
Yeah.
But
Do you
yeah.
think like, for example, I just niching it, like, do you think crystal PvP will like stay, like, how long do you think it will stay like in space just as like a relevant form?
To be honest, I don't really know because I don't really play. I quit before Crystal became popular as Crystal. Now, what's funny is my personal opinion. Yeah, I abhor Crystal PvP. I used to play vanilla, years ago when you didn't use crystals. So back in my day, I used to play when like Golfy first started playing and all them kind of guys. We used to play with like pots, gaps, like tipped arrows, things like that. Anyone who plays Crystal might know Michael Cycle. He was a big guy back in the day. He's my son, obviously. You know, he was really big at the time on like tipped arrow strategy and stuff. So, I don't think Crystal will ever go away because it's just vanilla and it'll just develop with vanilla. But I hate like Crystal. Like this idea you have to like it's just blowing stuff up and it's just like I think resource gathering and just like vanilla. I just find the vanilla game mode is just a bit broken. I think it was so much better when like a totem was hard to get, resources were slightly harder to get, and you could have a long fight with like tipped arrows, gaps, it's diamond gear. I mean, maybe it's just me saying, "Oh, it was better when I played," because that's what everyone says about everything. But as soon as Crystal started becoming meta, like I didn't really get it. Like, I don't see why you enjoy it. Also, I feel like it's so much more based on connection as well. Like, it's like how fast can you, ping just affects it so much because how fast can you place the blocks? How fast can you crystal? And I don't know. It's just I don't like it, but it'll probably last for a long time, I guess.
If you could
Awesome.
rank any of the crystal PvPers that haven't like actively gone for a test, say
Sorry,
example.
can you say that again? You
If
cut
you
out a
could,
bit.
if you could, like based on the PvP that you've seen, I don't know if you have seen any, from like these big people, like say like Dr. Donut, Rasplin, Dolly, etc. And if they haven't been ranked, what would you
Yeah.
give an honest like ranking?
Honestly, mate, I don't know. Like, I don't play. I've never played vanilla. Oh, something I will say though is there is a habit of people correlating what's most popular with what's the best, which is
Yeah.
just and people always do it. People do it with everything. Do it with clothing brands. They do it with cars. They do it with literally everything. But I couldn't really tell you. All I know is that, to my understanding, the best crystal players are people like and Marlow and people like that, and the other guys from the names you've said, from my understanding, they'd probably be like tier 3 at best. But they have to spice up the content. I am the best player in the world, fighting the best player in the world, blah 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 blah. So I don't know, but I don't think they'll be that good, to be fair. I know Rasplin I know he used to be Rasplin used to be a slightly more competitive player, from my understanding.
Oh yeah.
But I heard he started rapping. I don't know why. I don't know why he's doing that. Like,
Well, yeah, he's
realistically,
rapping and like focusing more on just like pumping.
but I think we need to normalize telling people the music thing ain't for them. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
sometimes you just got to tell them, like, look, bro, you shouldn't have started rapping realistically. But yeah, I don't know. I think he used to play when like Golfy played and stuff, but I never really touched base with him. So I don't know.
I actually I talked to Rasmus quite a bit. I'm not gonna. I mean, a lot of it's a bit like personal, but like he's a very nice guy. He's very motivated. He's very like he definitely knows what he wants. Like goals and just like grinding. And I think I definitely respect that.
Yeah, fair play, man. I like,
Yeah.
as I said, I think everything you do should be a project. Like, no matter how menial, how random, whether it's Minecraft, fucking Roblox, fucking anything, you should always have like a project timeline in mind. I really abhor the thought of just doing something for the sake of just passing time or whatever. I think that's such a stupid idea. So if he's doing his thing, putting content out, having goals, and I'm all for it. I don't know about the rapping though, but that's just me.
Nice.
Right. Well, that probably wraps up the questions. Thank you for Enrico for coming on, accepting to come on Toplads. I know you're a very busy guy. Thank you, Tyrant, for covering for Nuke and Noah.
You're all good. I'm glad to fill in.
Part 2, Tyrant Part 2.
Never know. Yeah, that could happen.
When you get 1 million. I mean, what?
Yeah. Also, I think that's it then.
Right. Well, I never know how to end these podcasts. it's always
Say,
the
like,
weakest bit. Like,
say like peace, or like you can have like a word that you say at the end. It's like
adios, guys.
there you go.